Hello, hello, lovely folks over at the WTL. This is Ruddy. You guys asked me to sit down with the champ and ask him a couple of questions. So that is exactly what we are going to do today. And somehow we are matching. Didn't coordinate this, guys. Yona and Ruddy are just matching today. So, Serral, these are the questions from the WTL people. I'm just going to read them out and you will be able to answer them in any way, shape, or form that you like. Question number 1. Congratulations on winning the championship at the Masters Coliseum. Could you please share your thoughts and feelings with us?
Feeling pretty good. I think most of my matches went pretty well. Played a bit better than I thought I would, to be honest. Just satisfied with how the matches went.
Rightfully so, mate. It was one hell of a run. Number 2, among the top 4, you defeated 3 Korean players, Maru, Björn, and Cure, to secure the championship. Can you provide an assessment of these 3 Korean players?
I'm not sure what that means, but I think I don't know. I always felt like Korean Terrans have a very similar styles for the most part, and I can approach all of them pretty much the same way. Obviously, they have their little differences. For example, Maru, you don't want to let him get into the late game or so on, but I don't know. I feel like the Korean Terrans usually I kind of have the same approach for all of them, and just kind of do my own thing. Obviously, since I played 3 of them in a row, I had to mix up my play a little bit. I couldn't just keep doing exactly the same thing, and I was a bit worried because I had to start doing that because I wasn't as confident in my standard play. I kind of just wanted to do my road builds all the way, but I was a bit sad I couldn't do that.
I think you answered that question perfectly, because I also wanted to ask you if you were like worried about certain things of certain individuals, but I think you already touched upon that briefly, saying that obviously Maru is not the same as the other 2, and in the ultra late game he can be intimidating. So I think that was perfect. Question number 3 is, Clem was the only player to defeat you in this tournament. Can you talk about that particular match in the quarterfinals of the upper bracket?
Well, I think Clem just played a bit more aggressive. He did a lot of triple Rex Reaper builds there, a bit of meta games with the openings. He like hidden CCs and stuff like that, so made me a bit uncomfortable. And he just played good. I played a bit different. I tried the tunneling claw style twice, which didn't really work out, even though I did win the second game of those. But just a hard series against Clem as usual. I know Clem is always pretty much the hardest Terran for me. It's just don't know what that is, but he's just very good at the matchup, I guess.
In a weird way, were you kind of happy when you saw that he was eliminated in the lower bracket by the Korean Terrans, or is the competitive beast in you still thinking, I kind of would have liked to try again?
I mean, I don't know. I would have taken either one of them, but obviously, I think my competitive piece still, even if I got Maru, it's still there. I think both of those matches very, very hard. I do think it's always nice to play against Maru just because we play extremely rarely. Now we actually played a couple of times already, pretty much back to back, but usually I play like maybe 2 series against him during a year. So I think that's also a nice match to have every once in a while.
Yeah, that is fair enough. Then maybe one last personal question I have for you in that specific best of 5. Do you feel that it was Clem just playing incredibly well like he's done in the past in TVZ? Or do you feel out of all the days that you were in the Masters Coliseum that was maybe your weakest day where things didn't quite click?
I think it was a similar day. It just... I feel like some things just didn't go my way, and that impacted the result there. I think if I would have played a bit differently, it could have been a very different story. But like I said, just going for a 2 times the tunneling clause, I think was like the main problem there. That was kind of a bit of an experimental strategy. I also used that against Björn in the first game, and it went terribly. So I just don't think that idea was something I should have used as much.
All right, that's fair enough. Question number 4. In this tournament, only 2 Protoss players, Max, Pax, and Hero, made it into the playoffs and didn't achieve a very high rankings. Hero, I think, lost in the first round. Max, Pax obviously finished top 6. Do you think it's because Protoss is currently underpowered, or are there other reasons?
Well, I mean, I don't. It's hard to say always. I do think CVP is. It's not. I think it's pretty fair matchup both ways. TVP does seem like pro struggles there, but yeah, just since CVP is like the only matchup I can talk about, it's. I think it's like a reasonably even matchup. I do think maybe the super late game favors Zerg, but besides that. It's pretty even, and even the super late game with Tempest outranging all my stuff, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, obviously, guys, Hero did win one series. I think he beat Solar, but then he lost to Maru in the playoffs. I have some questions, maybe quickly, about the best of 5 you played against Max Packs. I was really looking forward to it because I obviously see a lot of Max Packs, and I don't get to see him against the likes of you and Raynor all the time, but then I see him against the other Zergs, and he looks so on point. In that first game on Grass1, you guys did end up going to that ultra late game. But before that, it wasn't that easy. It was not like it was a boring game. I felt like there was a lot of action happening in the first 10, 15 minutes. And things, in my eyes, looked all right from Max Packs. Were you ever concerned on Grass1?
Well, not really. I was never really concerned there. I do think I was a bit behind. I think you're usually a bit behind always if you go like lurkers into late game, just because the late game transition is a bit slower than if you just started with Pro Lords. But in general, it's I don't know. I felt like I was in comfort zone for the most of the game. There was like this one point where he did the first attack and my lurkers just finished. I was maybe a little bit worried, but at the same time he didn't really commit there, so it was okay. And I don't think he could have committed there either. So just a pretty comfortable game, all things considered. I did play some time ago a couple longer games against Max Pack on that maps, and he actually played some decent Tempest late games. So I was wondering if he had improved on that, and but it was still very similar, and I don't usually lose those, so it was just the usual, I guess.
Yeah, I think we're thinking of the same moment where he walked up the ramp at your triangle base and he got a few of the lurkers and he stormed your drones. Like, that looked a little promising for him, but no, in the end, I think you're spot on there. That I don't think you're in danger of dying. That final game, though, I felt like out of the 3 games, the second game you guys had on Babylon, I honestly thought it was a fun one, but I did feel you just played very well, and you obviously found the damage that you were looking for. I think the last game was a lot closer than what people gave it credit for, because you were not on Hive on Dragon Skills, and your drone count was somewhat low. And I really think that final attack was kind of it. It was right before +3, right before Extended Turbulence. Would you agree with me that that was a very close game?
Yeah, it was a pretty close game. I think the start didn't go the best, and in general, obviously, I had a massive timer there. I think my main issue was just letting the Warp Prism into my main couple times too many, and that kind of took all my tempo away because I had to send my units back. I should have just had the queens there, but yeah, it was a close game. I think if he maybe just didn't take even a 5th base and just chilled a bit more on a bit more defensive setup, it could have been a pretty comfortable game for him.
Yeah. Alrighty, then we are moving on. Thank you, Yona, for those answers. Over the past 2 years, most championships in global individual tournaments, premier tournaments, have been won by Zerg players. Do you think Zerg is currently too strong in this version, or are there other factors at play?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like Zerg's that strong right now, in my opinion, but they do win a lot, so I don't know. It's a hard question.
All right. We can keep it at that. That's fine. We have noticed that you've introduced some new strategies in your Zerg versus Terran matchups. Was this because you felt that your previous strategies weren't effective anymore, or how did you come up with these new approaches?
Well, I just wanted to. I mainly wanted to have different approaches for Gamers 8, a lot of them, and I had a lot of success with them in practice. So, I mean, I guess I just wanted different approaches, and I always like to have strategies that I feel like I can get easy advantages with, because if you just play standard all the time, you kind of have to grind the games. But with these newer openings, I feel like I can just get in good spots and kind of get easy wins in a way. So that's always a nice feeling. And obviously, since I didn't really get to use many of my builds in Gamers 8, I could just use them here now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Question number 7, I think, is mostly about the Neo patch. What are your thoughts on the recent patch changes, especially the adjustments to the Cyclone unit, and how do you feel about these changes?
Well, to be honest, I haven't been following them too much, but as far as I know, but I don't really know what's like the final Cyclone anyways now.
No one knows yet, but I think they're mostly talking about the Cyclone, I guess we saw in Wardy's balance tournament. I don't know if you caught Clem against Solar.
Yeah, I did see that. I mean, it does look pretty good, but at the same time, like, as long as that's tuned to the right, it's not too good or anything when the patch comes out. I don't really see any big issues with the patch. It's a lot of small nerfs for Zerg and some buffs somewhere else, but for the most part, I feel like as long as like the bailing nerf with -5 HP isn't absolutely massive, then it's just not gonna affect that much.
Mm-hmm. When it comes down to new patches in general, Yona, are you just kind of someone who stays a bit on the sidelines and you'll just see whatever they come up with? You're not too interested in like the entire process from the beginning till the end?
No, I don't really care too much. Yeah, I just try to stay away from it. I don't really want to affect the decisions too much, and don't want to be part of making the changes too much myself.
Are you telling us that you're not part of any cabal over here, Sarah?
I'm not part of a cabal. No cabal for me.
Okay. And last but not least, the final question. I think they're trying to have a little bit of fun with this one. Have you watched any of your teammates, Raynor or Dark's matches? I think they obviously mean Raynor versus Dark. And can you provide an evaluation of his performance as a Protoss? So basically, what did you think of Raynor's Protoss play against Dark?
Well, I mean, I don't think Raynor has been playing that much pros now, but I do think he got himself in a pretty good spot in the first game. He just got a bit unlucky. Well, not unlucky, but Dark got him with his pants down a little bit with the roach attack. But if he got like 10 seconds more there, storms out, it could have been a very good game. And always the second game, there's not much to say about that. It was the classic Dark build order that he likes to use.
Yep. All right, I think that is it. So unless you have any final words, I think we can wrap it up. Maybe your overall thoughts of the entire tournament, a little thank you, a couple shout outs.
Well, first off, thanks to Basilisk for all the support. It's been really helpful. And then just thanks to the team, World Team League team for organizing the event. I think it was well done and I enjoyed my time playing there. So thank you for that.
All right. Thank you for taking some time out of your, I can only imagine, very busy Tuesday, Yona.
No, it's not very busy right now.
Okay, that's good. All right, thank you, Yona, and have a good day.
Yeah, you too.